The Benjamin Dixon Show is only possible with listener support. Go to www.thebenjamindixonshow.com to register for our blog and join the Progressive Army.
Today is Friday, January the 13th, 2023. Thank you so much for joining me. I want to begin with a trigger warning. The story I'm going to cover today has audio that is particularly disturbing. It is audio of the body cam footage that was released by the LA Police Department in the killing of 31-year-old Keenan-Anderson, who is or was rather a school teacher, a father, and he was tased multiple times during this police stop and died of cardiac arrest from excessive tasing. I want to play the video or the audio for you because I want you to hear two things. I want you to hear the distress in this man's voice as he identifies he's saying that they're going to George Floyd him. And surely enough, he died from that encounter. But I also want you to listen to the fact that he is clearly the victim was in distress, some type of mental distress, terrified for sure of the LAPD. And it inevitably escalated into multiple police officers pinning him down on the ground, tasing him multiple times, and he subsequently died. Keenan-Anderson, 31-year-old. Here's the audio.
Turn around. Over on your stomach. Get over on your stomach. Hold on. Get down. Get down.
Please, sir, please don't do this. Please don't do this, sir. Please. Help me, please.
You know what?
Help me, please. No, please help me. Help me, please. Please.
Turn around.
Please.
Keenan,
Relax.
Watch out.
Help! They trying to kill me.
Hey, stop him or tase you. Stop him or tase you.
Relo's trying to kill me. I have stuff on YouTube.
Stop it or I'm going to tase you.
Yes, sir.
Stop it or I'm going to tase you.
Hey, please help me. Help!
Stop it or I'm going to tase you. Stop it or I'm going to tase you. I'm going to tase you. Stop it right now. Stop it right now. Turn over. Turn over or I'm going to tase you. Turn over or I'm going to tase you. Turn over or I'm going to tase you.
Yes. I can't.
Watch your elbow, partner.
You're trying to George Floyd me. You're trying to George
Stop
Floyd
it.
me.
Stop it or I'm going to tase you. Okay, stop it or I'm going to tase you. Stop it or I'm going to tase you. Stop resisting.
Please.
Stop resisting.
Please.
I'm going to tase him. I'm going to tase him.
They're trying to kill me.
He was tased 7 times and died. This took place on January 3rd, and the body cam footage has been released. Now, usually in these instances when body cam footage is released, it is the full belief of the police, and I'm sure that nothing will be done about this. This is par for the course. You had all of the usual talking points, stop resisting. Well, here's the interesting thing. He actually flagged down the police. In the video, if you watch the full video, Keenan flagged down the police officer to get help because he had been in a car accident. Now, he was acting rather unusual. However, did anyone take in consideration that the reason he was acting unusual is because he was just in an accident? Or he could have been experiencing a full-blown mental episode. He was not a suspect. That's the point. He was not a suspect. He was the one who flagged down the police officers. And this is just par for the course for what happens. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, the majority of the people who are killed by police every year are those who are suffering or in mental distress. Someone suffering from mental health problems. A family member called for a mental health check. And the police officers show up knowing that these officers are not programmed to de-escalate or handle mental health episodes. They're just not. They actually just get away with killing these people. I mean, once you identify that this man was suffering from a mental health episode or just pure shock from the result of being in a car accident, in the video, you see the initial, he got on his knees. He put his hands behind his back. The whole time he's completely paranoid about what's happening. And then, well, maybe he had a reason to be paranoid because he's dead now. He said, they're trying to George Floyd me. And while it's not apples to apples, the fear is real. He flagged down help from assistance from the police. He was the one in the middle of a mental health episode or just shock from being in an accident. Whatever the cause was, as they were yelling, stop resisting, what is he resisting? Arrest? Why is he under arrest? Is he under arrest because he's having a mental health episode? Is he under arrest because he got in an accident? Or is he under arrest because he was acting strange? The last thing I saw, the last time I checked, you don't get arrested for acting strange. And so another person is dead, another black man is dead. And there's little to no response, little to no reaction. We've become accustomed to this, especially if the video is anything but 100% conclusive, like in the case of George Floyd, the sheer evil that exuded from the murderer of George Floyd was seen and palpable on the video. In this instance, the video gives the overtone, the audio gives the overtone of the police being concerned. Well, I appreciate your concern, but when your very presence is the escalating factor, okay? Because let's not pretend that black people don't have a reason to be in sheer terror of these police officers. If you follow what's going on around the country, you'll understand that black people have a reason to fear the police, especially a black man. Now, especially a black man who is apparently suffering from a mental health episode. The police are not designed, they're not programmed, they're not manufactured to actually show compassion, to be compassionate. They know how to show compassion, but they're not on the streets to be compassionate. And when someone is suffering from a mental health episode, one thing they need is compassion enough to not exacerbate the situation. Here's a data point for you. People with untreated mental health illness are 16 times more likely to be killed by law enforcement officers. And whatever the true nature of what happened in LA to Keenan-Anderson, we won't know because, well, he's dead now. We won't know if it was a mental health episode. We won't know if he was in shock because he was in an accident. We don't know if he was just terrified for his life because, well, when about 6 LAPD officers show up, it usually doesn't end well for black people. And unfortunately, it did not end well for 31-year-old Keenan-Anderson. I want to jump back into the interview that I did with Brother Marquell Bridges. He is the founder of Building Bridges and one of the key organizers in the state of Mississippi fighting for justice on behalf of Black life, particularly Black life that was lost at the hands of police officers. And I asked Brother Bridges if he would give us the names of all of the families that he's currently working with. And this is just in the state of Mississippi. And these are families of people, black men overwhelmingly who were killed by police officers in the state of Mississippi.
Katrina Mateen, Jaheim McMillan's mom, Tiffany Carter, Rasheen Carter's mom, Monica Cameron, Damian Cameron's mom, LaShonda Parker, LaMelo Parker's mom, DeMontario Gibson, and Sharon McClendon. Sharon McClendon is his mom. Miss Sharon London, Bridget Hall's sister, Miss Elmira Gayton, Joseph Gayton's mother. And a lot of that, the work's been done. We seeking closure. Like, you got to understand, I'm not the grand jury. I'm not the trial jury. I'm not the judge. I'm just saying where I've continued to push those names. Hopefully that something is going to be done. And if not, we still out there protesting.
Doing the type of work that Brother Bridges does, you can imagine he draws the attention of various police forces across the state of Mississippi. One in particular, Brookhaven, Mississippi. The police chief there was caught on audio threatening Marquell Bridges. Now, we have that audio. This is Brookhaven Police Chief Kenneth Collins as he describes an encounter with Bridges and his attorney. And here's what he said.
Them was shot. I heard them talk shit. I sit there and watch them all day. They bringing up every piece of dirt they got on us. Anybody that got a problem with the police department, they had them up there. Okay? So when I got ready to leave, the mama ran up on me, and I turned around and walked out. I didn't come there to fight. I had my overalls on. I very seldom carry a gun. I brought God with me. So when I got ready to leave, them motherfuckers surrounded me. It's Marquell Bridges, the motherfucker on Facebook, talking all that fucking shit. And that's when I stopped and looked at that. He's the big son down with the dreadlock. I thought about fucking him up red Keenan. I just stopped and looked at it.
I asked Brother Bridges how he felt being the target, identified by name, by the police chief of the city of Brookhaven, Mississippi.
I just want to go on record and say, fuck Kenny Sambo Collins. That's the energy I brought to Brookhaven. I didn't come to Brookhaven for no police. I came for two racist white men that thought it was okay to try and kill a black boy while he was just doing his damn job. So why the police just targeted me is still elusive to me. I don't know. And then let alone a black man acting this way. It just let me know people in high places wanted me gone and out of their town. I'm going to protect myself 100%, and I'm going to protect the protesters and protect the people around me. That's why we move different. But we are 100% nonviolent. I'll say that, because a protest is meant to disrupt things. So I'm not peaceful. I'm not a peaceful person when it comes to killing us. God gonna handle Sambo. I'm gonna continue to allow God to handle Sambo. That same God he be calling on and lying about as he kill and allow our children of Brookhaven to be killed and do nothing.
When you consider the amount of black life that is being taken, you can't help but be concerned and hopefully moved into action. I asked Brother Bridges what he needed to help forward the movement there in the state of Mississippi, and particularly with his foundation, his organization, Building Bridges. And he said two things. He is self-funded and he can use some financial support. So he gives us his Cash App, and I want you, if you can, do something for him. But the second thing resonated with me so deeply. He said that these mothers, these parents, all of the individuals who are fighting for justice, they could use the help of some volunteer mental health counselors, some black volunteer mental health counselors who can absolutely help them deal with the PTSD that has come as a result of the police killing their loved ones.
Building Bridges for Community Unity and Progress is where we connect all impacted families of police violence and racism, because it's so hard to organize in Mississippi where the community doesn't come out, the community doesn't support. So these families have been being that community for each other and traveling for each other, standing up and being numbers and being voices for each other. It's a beautiful thing to see, even in its tragic nature. I did that. We do stop the violence, voting, voter education, financial literacy. We're actually pushing Building Bridges Aviation and Technical Institute. we want to make that real in the next year due to Brother Bruce Atlas and some of the NASA scientists and astronauts and mechanics and different things, Black brothers who want to continue and give it back, because it's a lot of funding for that right now. But I've been self-funded since the beginning, so I don't receive any funding from anyone. So I thank you for that. But they can fund me by Cash App at the moment, which is $ Marquell Bridges, MarquellBridges. We need Black therapists to reach out to these mothers, to reach out to these people off the record. But we need Black therapists to come back and deal in our community and treat the mental health problems and the trauma, the PTSD.
I'm looking forward to having more interviews with organizers on the ground as they describe specifically what it is that they're fighting for, how they're fighting for it, and what we can do to assist them. Stay tuned, everyone. We'll be back right after this.
Go to www.patreon.com/The BPD Show and get twice the content and unfiltered interviews without any of the commercial interruptions. Welcome back to The Benjamin Dixon Show. Visit us online at thebenjamindixonshow.com.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. I want to take us now over to the state of Missouri, where the Republicans in their state legislature are waging a war against the right to bear arms. Yeah, well, not exactly, not the Second Amendment bearing of arms, but a woman's right to wear her arms out bare. That's right. In the year of our Lord 2023, the Republicans in the state legislature of Missouri are attempting to ban a woman's right to show her arms, because apparently, I don't know, it's suddenly unacceptable for women's arms to be seen. Like, what year are we in? Have we gone back to the 20s and, well, not the 2020s, but the 1920s? And now we are regressing back to, what are they going to go to next, right? Are they going to measure how long their skirts are? Or are they going to make them wear shrouds? Where are they drawing the line here? I'm serious. I'm very serious about this, because I am fully aware of the desire of the Republican Party and the conservative movement in this country, and all of the incelic men who are looking for more power and more domination over women. I am fully aware that their ultimate goal is to push women back into the place where all they can do is bear children and be forced to do that. So when you see something like this, while it may be, it might be secondary to all of the other stories that are happening in this country, just simply because of the nature of it. I mean, we started off with police killings. I mean, we're dealing with how many times the police are killing us all over this country. It may be that a story like this will fly under the radar and no one would look at it, or even if they read the headline, they'll be like, huh. But no, to me, this is a red flag. This is a red flag because we're dealing with a group of men who are most assuredly trying to take women back to the day when all they could do was bear their children. They couldn't say anything about the sexual assault. They couldn't say anything about the mistreatment in the workplace. They weren't even allowed in the workplace. That's where they want to go back to. But you don't have to take my word for it. Here is Republican conservative superstar Nick Fuentes, who made the rounds as Kanye West's best buddy and campaign staffer. Here's Nick Fuentes saying it himself.
It's not enough to say we're against trannies. You got to be against women's rights, too. It's not enough to be against blue-haired feminism. You got to be against women getting educated. Okay? Or else, what are we really trying to achieve here? 1999? 1999 sucked too. We want to go back to 1099. We want to go back to the Middle Ages. So we're burning your gay pride flag, we're burning your gay pride float, and then we're going to drag your bitch wife out of her house kicking and screaming, and then we're going to burn her at the stake too for being a witch.
This is a star in the conservative movement. I know Republicans try to distance themselves from him because he's an avowed Nazi and white nationalist, but pretend as they might, I mean, he rose to the top because of the support of conservatives. Of the same order, of the same ilk as those in Missouri who are now saying women can't bear arms. I think this, like, seriously, this is a flag on the play. This is an escalation. This is a Republican Party seeing exactly how far they can go in controlling women. And for every inch that society allows these cretins to gain ground, they are running a mile, taking away the rights of women. What's next? Women can't show their face in public? What's next? Women need to get permission from their husbands to drive the car? I think we should have and set proper expectations of where these people draw the line. And I would argue they do not draw the line anywhere when it comes to restricting the rights of women. Can I make a confession to you all? I'm actually really jealous of the conservative movement in the sense of the way that this next clip, it just really goes to show you that conservatives literally have to put no thought into the quality of their reporting, their journalism, anything whatsoever. All they have to do is create a boogeyman. And so long as they create a boogeyman, in this case, Tucker Carlson has so perfectly helped create the boogeyman of wokeness that he can literally do a segment on woke M&Ms. Don't let me describe it. Just listen to this very short clip as he describes his upcoming segment on woke M&Ms.
Woke M&Ms have returned. The green M&M got her boots back, but apparently is now a lesbian, maybe. And there's also a plus-sized, obese purple M&M. So we're going to cover that, of course, because that's what we do.
What was that a moment of clarity at the end there when he realized that the quality of his journalism now includes attacking M&Ms? As being too woke, as being gay M&Ms, lesbian M&Ms. I mean, Tucker Carlson, did you really? I felt like the last few words, it got cut off at the end, but I feel like he was having a moment, a come to Jesus moment where he realized, oh my goodness, I really am the laughingstock of journalism. But you know what? It doesn't matter because this is the exact content that his supporters, Fox News, they love. They love Fox News so much that they're willing to die in order to follow the advice, the medical advice, the COVID-19 advice. You were more likely to die of COVID-19 if you watched Fox News, Tucker Carlson specifically. This is the of course, I almost got on my soapbox again about this being the asymmetrical nature of our fight, whereas we have to speak with a certain level of clarity, precision, with algorithmic accuracy, and we have to be 10 times better in order to get like 1%. That's just on the material side in terms of the actual fight and in terms of the actual fight for justice and why we do what we do. It is simply breathtaking how easy it is to disrupt the fight for justice, to disrupt the fight for progress with as many frivolous and fatuous stories as Fox News and Tucker Carlson can think up. It's a little frustrating, but I have to sit back and admire and realize that, I guess maybe if it was that easy for us to get victory for liberation, If we could literally just open up our mouth and say anything that we wanted to, and no matter how ridiculous it was, it helped move us towards liberation, I guess I'd get on Fox News and do the same thing. For the sake of liberation, why not? But that's not how any of this works. It actually works the exact opposite. If you want to disrupt progress, if you want to disrupt cohesiveness, if you want to disrupt our ability to coexist, literally all you have to do is get on television and get on at a press conference and say woke M&Ms. That's the reason. That's the problem with America. Woke M&Ms, woke ideology, critical race theory with a side of chocolate covered peanuts. That's the problem. I have to admire it's kind of like being on the slide, a water slide at the very top of a water slide. And I'm thinking back of my trip to Costa Rica. It was a traumatic trip, but it was a great trip at the same time. I just remember standing at the top of one of the biggest water slides I've ever been on. This was a research trip, but we took a day to have some fun at a water park. And I really did not know if I was going to go down that extremely large water slide. And I teetered and I tottered and I eventually said, you know what? I'm here now. I might as well jump and see what happens at the bottom. Hilarious. If you could see my body flipping over upside down when I came out of the tube, it was hilarious. The point of that story is this. I imagine being on national television, international television for that matter, being Tucker Carlson and standing and talking to millions of people, asking yourself, am I really going to talk about the shoes of fictional M&M characters? Am I really going to talk about the weight? Because I'll be honest with you, the bigger the M&Ms, the better. But am I really going to go out here in front of this massive audience and do this to myself?
Woke M&Ms have returned. The green M&M got her boots back, but apparently is now a lesbian, maybe. And there's also a plus-sized, obese purple M&M. So we're going to cover that, of course, because that's what we do.
That's exactly what you do at Fox News. And you know what? He gets paid well. What does he get? $7 million a year to do this? You know, the thing about serving bigotry and serving this system, serving white supremacy, is that there really is no limit to what it's going to require of you. Now, this is easy for someone like Tucker Carlson because, you know, he's secure in every other aspect of his life. Sure, he doesn't mind going out there and looking like a complete moron. Whereas for other Republicans, the requirement to be a conservative sometimes is death. Herman Cain, Diamond, Phil Valentine. This conservatism that you serve really has no limit to what it's willing to do to you in order to accomplish its goals, what it requires of you. There is no bottom. There is no bottom to the embarrassment. There is no level of shamelessness that's going to make them ever turn around and realize, oh my God, I have been making a fool of myself in front of the entire country. Why? Because their techniques work. These ridiculous stories, their ridiculous positions, their ridiculous arguments, they work. They work because their supporters want it. They demand the ridiculousness. They demand the stupidity, the intentional obtuseness. Fox News viewers would change to Newsmax if they weren't being fed a healthy dose of complete derangement. So, yeah, I mean, again, I guess I'm a little jealous because we have to actually work hard over here on our side. We try to craft good faith arguments. So dumb of us. What, you know, shame on us for trying to have an actual standard in how we present information and how we present arguments. And quite honestly, maybe it is shame on us because when we look at where the tide is in this battle, when we look at where we are in this fight, it seems like the more ridiculous you can be, the further you get. Or is that just me? There is a patron party tonight. Patron party tonight at 9 p.m. The link, I will be sharing a link on patreon.com/the BPD show. That's it for today's show. I have to get out of here early. Patrons, hope to see you tonight. I will be coming through and dropping into the patron party. DJ Exclusive is back. He's feeling better, and he's setting up for tonight. Looking forward to it. Patreon.com/The BPD Show or Patreon.com/Like It or Not. Everyone else, I will see you Monday. Have a great weekend, everyone.